Ba-ba-doo! Now, if we do this right, seems like there's nothing else. What should I do? See, I've got a few messages.
Hey, Seaphone, want to meet up? Go somewhere just the two of us? Just want to get out of my crummy temporary apartment. I'm sure I think we could think of something fun.
Is he thinking what I'm thinking? Anna or Bryce? I don't know which one. Stuff it, Anna. Guess she's here. Here she is to wreck my day. Oh, she looks sad. Hey, Anna. Hey, what's going on? You sound pretty worried on the phone. Worried? If I was worried, it would mean I was afraid of something that might happen. But I'm way beyond that. I know exactly what's going to happen to me. It's over. It's all over. What are you talking about? First they come to my lab, and now they went to my home too? Who did? The police. They raided my place. They had a warrant and everything. I already know that they have all they need to convict me. I'm gonna die in prison. Why? It's because of those tests I did on you. You will die in prison because you looked at my fingernail under the microscope? So I'm a bit confused. Why don't you start from the beginning? Alright. This goes years back. Okay, this goes years back, and you already know half the story. This was a brilliant mind who skipped all those years in school, fast-tracked through university. It was an incredible, lucrative career in front of me. You wouldn't have believed the offers I had based on my accomplishments. I was still in school, already solving problems that no one had even touched before. Okay, I had so many awards that new ones just went straight into trash. I didn't need them. I just enjoyed the challenge. Besides, I couldn't care less about some old people who thought about my work, as I needed their approval. Okay, I was already more than any of them could have dreamed of. The next problem I was going to tackle an incurable disease. I started my research, and ironic twist of fate, I ended up contracting the very same disease myself. Whether someone had been following the health and safety protocols as well as they should have, or if I was just unlucky, I will never know. But the reality was that I had a disease that was treatable, not curable. Despite having helped an incredible amount of people with my work, I was now the one who needed help. Yet there was no one who could help me. No one but myself. I was already planning on working on a cure anyway, and what better reason could there be than to save myself? I told no one about my affliction and set out to do what many others failed to do. Any materials I needed to start my work were easily acquired just by using the wave of my status around. I had free reign over my own lab. I could have even gotten assistance if I wanted to, but I knew they would be liabilities. Even I had a few good leads for ways to combat this disease, although the one I chose to pursue was not exactly legal, not without prior approval by the council. My research was promising, and though while I submitted the paperwork, I knew that these things were always moved slowly. Being pushed through the various boards and committees could have taken months, if not years, depending on how generous they were going to be. I just couldn't afford to wait that long, as I was working against the clock. So while waiting for the paperwork to be approved, I had already started with my work. I fully expected them to approve it eventually. How could they not, given the fact I was tackling an incurable disease? The method I was going to use was not necessarily a new one, but it was controversial. It didn't cross my mind that anyone would object, seeing that it would cure thousands, if not millions, of future people. But I was younger then. I was a little more naive than I am now. In the end, my whole project came crashing down in flames. The proposal that I was sure was to be approved was ultimately rejected, putting all the time and putting all work I had already in jeopardy. I had already made good progress at the time too. After the rejection, there was going to be an inspection of my workplace in order to determine the progress I had made on the project, which they assumed within legal bounds did not include controversial things outlined in paperwork. Of course, that meeting was just going to be pretense because I knew there was already going to be rumors about what really went on in my lab. In the end, I had very little warning. Thankfully, I managed to dispose of most egregious evidence before they arrived. They found proof of my wrongdoing, but since they didn't find evidence of how far I had already proceeded, I was denied most of their accusations. Using the controversial method when it had been approved was still seen as very grievous or offensive. I was charged and sentenced harshly, though the sentence was suspended due to their lack of evidence. With all that I have done for them, they knew better than to take my license away from me. I was able to continue my work in other areas under the condition within a council-owned facility. I see, so I assume those tests on me were against those conditions. Exactly. Why didn't you just do the things in the proper way and wait for the paperwork to be cleared? Before my paperwork would even get through, you'd be long gone. Using you as a test subject would have been a process that the council would have discussed with humanity. As such, there may be such another trade agreement. Who knows? What else? I just didn't have time, quite frankly. I don't even know how much longer I have left. This is my death sentence. You thought my test results would help you find a cure. And that's never going to happen now. And how do they find out so quickly? It's not been long since I came to your lab. It wasn't those tests. There was Rez's too. But Reza told me he didn't give you any of his blood when you asked for it. Because that's not what I got it from. Wait, hold on. Because that's not what I got from him. This was my life we were talking about. Do you think I didn't spend hours on the ground in the hallway of the facility after Reza's first visit trying to find stray or hair or anything I could use? Or that when I first gave him the generator, I didn't try to graze his skin enough so that I could salvage a few skin cells? How did they find out about this? It was Damien, my assistant. Little piece. Oh! No. He was blackmailing me. Why? Because he's jealous. Because he's jealous of me. Jealous of my success. He found out what I was doing with salvage I salvaged from Reza. I didn't mind giving him what he wanted, though. I just wanted to live. When he died, the police searched his apartment, they found evidence he had on me. And now everything is coming down. I will be punished and to the full extent of the law, and I will die in prison. My work will be forever tainted. Not that I'll care about it when I'm dead. Do you remember that childhood friend of mine that I told you about? I never wanted to end up like her, but it seems not even that I can do anything to escape that fate. Maybe I deserve it. Maybe it's my punishment. I have to die like she did because I left her. I spend my last days bedridden in a prison cell, and no one will visit me or care. You know what? And you know what? With all that data I got from you, I might actually found a cure. I don't want to cry in front of you. I don't want attention or pity. I don't want any of it. I didn't cry back when I was diagnosed, and I'm sure heck not gonna cry now. Don't say anything. I admit I was selfish, always, yet I did great things. At least I did what everyone kept telling me. You know, after the whole affair back then, and the suspend sentence, the rumors about me never stopped. They did warn me about... Did they warn you about me? Did they tell you to stay away from me? I'm sure they have. Why are you still here? I didn't listen to them. I guess I just like you. The council, Damien and Raimi, they were always sabotaging me. If everyone just left me alone, I wouldn't even need your help. Why couldn't everyone just leave me alone? When they gave me manager position at the facility, that was just to distract me even more, give me free reign over the lab, so I attempt to do something I shouldn't. How could I not at least try? One of the also important founding principles is how individual is important. That's clearly not the case with me. At least they never showed it was. Now I can see the result. Now I can just see how different you are. You are the only one who came with me willing to and without any ulterior motives. Or did you? You invited me. I just took that invitation. Just to use you. And you still came back for more. You let me do all those tests on you. Sure, you complained like a pro, but you sat it out for me. I owed it to you. You don't owe anything anymore. So what? Maybe I won't die alone after all. I don't know if I'll be able to be there. It doesn't matter. You've already done more than enough for me. I'll remember you when I die. Anyway, enough of that. I hope you don't mind me hanging around here. My place still looks like the police raided it. Oh wait, that's exactly what happened. Do you need help cleaning up? No, I can pay someone to do it later. I just don't want to be there right now. Nice apartment you've got here. By the way, not quite as fancy as mine, but this isn't bad either. I guess the council treats you nicely, huh? Hey, it wasn't my decision. You're such a VIP, aren't you? I can't be that important if your apartment is nicer than this. Besides, after your rhetoric about being wild and all that when we went on our first date, I assumed you were more the type of person who just lives in a hole in the ground. That's not what I said. I told you I can appreciate all kinds of different experiences. I could survive in the wild if I wanted to, though. Do you want to know what I did on my last vacation? I started walking in a random direction, spent a week in the wilderness before I came back. That must have been an adventure. I wouldn't be able to do that without tools. I could give you some tips if you like, though. Not sure if I'll need them, but I guess they could come in handy. Actually, there's one tip that should take care of everything. Let's hear it then. Just be a dragon. Thanks for the tip. Then you've got everything you need, and you don't rely on tools and other stupid stuff. Yeah, that's super helpful. How do you think I suppose I do that? Not my problem. Oh, yeah, of course, you're the dragon. Can you tell me about your advances in genetic engineering? Maybe you could make it happen. My personal ones? I was speaking more of your society as a whole, but if you have personal experiences, that could be interesting. We could do so much if we wanted to. Cloning, genetic scrambling, or hybrids, various different species. Heck, we could even create a new species if we wanted to, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. Tampering with genetics is not allowed. Why? Our enlightened society does not see any value in it. Besides, you know about our creation myth, right? The one about the human creating you. Yeah, that's the one. It's the only one we have. Anyway, we are not to tamper with perfect images after which we were created. And what would those be? The belief is that each species was molded for a particular task or a particular role in society. Really? And I'm guessing this just goes off a bit like about which ones do what. Ironically enough, the perpetual nuisance you know as Remy was a revolutionary case where that didn't happen. In what way? Well, the council talk about Remy and all that. Okay, at some point it just gets tiring. People get louder, argumentative, and those are supposed to be our leaders. Could say that about now, couldn't I? That's not something people would like to. That's not something people would like here. If you're a council member who wants to be popular, you don't engage in any kind of you don't engage in that kind of behavior. That sounds a nice change of pace. Not necessarily, since it also leads to reluctant agreements and sweeping issues that should be talked about under the rug. You know what? That doesn't jive with me. They like to preserve this fantasy of peace and harmony in our society. For me, it's just so fake. People pretend to be something they're not to conform because they don't want to stand out. They become faceless puppets like drones or or cogs in a machine. What kind of world do we live in where speaking one's mind is seen as something bad? I never held back. Now see where that got me. I bet you would argue that it would be easier to conform them then. I could never do that, and besides, I don't want to. There is something called integrity. There's one thing this society needs. That's it. Now you're starting to sound like a politician. And skip all the politician stuff, because, what's the truth? What's the truth to you, then? The truth is what I feel is right. That's something our politicians would say. At least I have good intentions if they do what they feel is right. But good intentions alone don't get us anywhere. If we all just follow everyone's ill-informed good intentions, it'd be chaos. Just look at me. I'm the victim of this. Stupid backward laws made on so-called good intentions. What will put me in prison? That kind of thinking doesn't help me in my work, because in the end, feelings can be wrong. You're not wrong, and we can argue about that all day, but the truth of the matter is that I wouldn't be here with you right now if it wasn't me trying to do the right thing. You don't seem to like talking about this kind of stuff, though. I'm not an ambassador for nothing, you know. You're an ambassador so you can discuss the nature of truth with different cultures, you know. If you ask the wrong kind of person, these kinds of discussions could get very ugly. Alright, if that's how you feel about me, then do me one thing. What is it? Watch the fireworks with me. The fireworks? The big fireworks at the end of the festival. It may be the last one I'll ever see. If the police don't arrest me beforehand, that is. I can't really promise anything right now, but I'll try. I figured as much. Don't worry about it, though. I can see it on my own. It just would be nicer to have some company. Anyway, I guess it's time for me to go. There's plenty of stuff I have to take care of before they take me in. Research papers, the facility, and other things. Don't let me hold you up. Thanks for having me. Okay, the showdown. Duty. Okay, I don't think... There should be no body there. There is no body. So that means we saved Sebastian, which is good. Let me check my status. Oh, we abandoned, Bryce. Oops. After a night of turbulent dreams, go with Anna. That must be her. Okay. Let's go to the fireworks. We don't need this dialogue. For better or worse, people know me, okay, or maybe you just don't want to be seen at all. No, that's not it. Actually, that could be quite fun. It would only be enough reason for people to be jealous of me. Oh, I think it's starting. And the fireworks should just be. Okay. Okay, realization. We need to stop Reza. Let's do this. Okay. So she's probably gone to get help or something. Hopefully she... I don't know who she'll bring. She may bring Reza, though. Wait, hold on. I was surprised when I opened the... I was surprised... Ah, that's right. Reza did mention about... Okay. Now, what we can do here, we can just skip all of this bit. Oh, skip all the buttons, all of the buttons, all of the buttons, all of the buttons, all of the buttons. Are you entertained? Me? What are you going to do? You can't stop me anyway.
Maybe I can.
Okay, suddenly Maverick and Anna appear next to me. I think this is going to end up the same way the first time.
You planned this. You planned this.
No.
You planned this, didn't you, Steven? Traitor.
And wait. Oh, don't know where he's... You've got 6 bullets for 3 people. Do you really think you can do that, Reza? Okay, skip this. They belong to humanity. Suddenly the administrator came out of the shadows behind him.
No, they belong to me.
And I think we just pretty much screwed up again. Oh! Ho! Ho! We actually... Oh, damn! Okay. Okay, I quickly dove behind the box of generators, and I saw it open a mouth, spraying liquid in Reza's direction. Quickly... Ah! Reza looked at her bewilderment before he suddenly burst into flames. Boom! But the flames didn't stop. He tried to get up, but failed, and fell once more. He screamed and shrieked in agony. A short time, the body slumped as his cries stopped and as he lay to the ground, motionless. I watched the flames continue to burn, burning the lifeless body. I went over to Anna and realized she was covered in blood from her bullet wounds. She was breathing heavily but was still alive. Looks bad. Have to do something to stop bleeding. Don't bother. Based on where he got me, I'll be gone soon. Don't say that. I've done autopsies before. I know how this goes. No one can help me now. You jumped in front of me, Anna. Why? Why did you do that? I only have a few months to live left. Luckily, that is it. That is anything past that wouldn't be a life worth living. Would you want to spend your last days strapped in the hospital bed, slowly wasting away to nothing? They can prolong by long, but They can prolong my life, but they cannot save me. I know you have it in you to achieve and succeed what you set out to do. Even I couldn't. Even if they let me rot in prison and die. Before I could answer, her head slumped. She was dead. I checked around the room. The fire had stopped. It had become quite eerie as it checked on the others. Oh, damn. Okay, so everything is the same except for the fact that Reza is dead. Oh ho ho, you got fried, boy. That was your own damn fault. While I confirmed that Maverick and Reza were dead, I was glad to discover that the administrator was still alive. I found a first aid kit in one of the rooms and dressed her wound. After a bit of rest, she was able to get up and walk outside. I think we may have done it. We may have achieved. What are you planning on doing now? I don't know, Izumi. What do you think we should do? We have to stop the comet after all. So you remember my name. What else do you remember? I know we can stop the comet, but I also want to help humanity. I'll be just like Reza if I didn't try. You know, just helping one world and disregarding the suffering of the other. That is why I'm asking for your plan. Sending the generators now would be out of the question, since we need all of them since we need all we can to gather and stop the comet. That is correct. Unfortunately, I also know that by the time we've stopped the comet, humanity will have given up on the portal and disconnected its power source, so we won't be able to help them afterwards. You remember well. The solution to this would rather be simple. We need to let them know and wait a bit longer, while the dragons recover from expending all their power resources to stop the comet. We could just send them a letter. I'm afraid that wouldn't be possible. And why is that? After what happened during some of our other attempts, I decided to delete the coordinates to humanity's portal when I repaired this one a few days ago. But the portal has ways to locate the other functional portals, right? We could reestablish the connection. Unfortunately, looking for other portals through time and space would be significant energy expenditure that we can't afford right now. Not if we want to stop that comet. I reject this outcome. If there is no way to send them help, I will go back the day I arrived and try again. That's why you put those coordinates in after all. No, it's not your call to make. These coordinates were to be used in emergencies, or if we fail. As far as I'm concerned, we did fail. Look at this world, and what we've achieved under my guidance. You want to jeopardize this chance, to save your city as well. It's what I came here for. Reza too, but he's dead now, so I'm the only one they have left to fight for survival. I can't just leave them now. As nice as it would be, a life here would be a life built on the suffering of others. I wouldn't be able to live with myself knowing that I could have helped, but I didn't because I took the easy way out. As far as I'm concerned, it isn't over yet. You want to save those who sent Reza and his supporters. Is this really about humanity or about Anna? She sacrificed herself for you, not for you to undo it all again. It is her sacrifice that makes it possible to save this world now. Is that not enough for you? No, I'm going. If that's your final decision, then you leave me no other choice. I suddenly saw her hand reaching for her pocket. When it parted to reveal Reza's guns, I quickly grabbed it out and pointed it the other way and before Reza pulled the trigger. In the ensuing scuffle, I managed to wrest it away from her in the face with its blunt end. She collapsed in pain, and blood started to run down her cheek where the impact gash opened. As she squirmed on the ground, I turned to her. As she squirmed on the ground, I turned to her before I took my leave. You know what? For all Ressa has done, you sure don't seem different from him when it comes down to it. Goodbye. You have seen Anna's bad ending. Sacrifice. Achievement unlocked. Okay, so honestly, I have no idea how to do. I think what we have to do is go on our own, because with both Anna and Adine, because that won't end well if it's like that. I don't know. Honestly, I have no clue, but yeah. So that means we're gonna have to try again.